This is Win News.
Tonight, a 45-year-old father drowns in Tasmania's northeast. Authorities focus their search for the missing AirAsia flight on the Java Sea, and thousands head to Marion Bay for day one of the Falls Festival. Hello and good evening. Peter Hughes in Tasmania with Win News. A boating trip has turned to tragedy, with a 45-year-old father killed when his boat capsized at St Helens in the state's northeast. Win's Hannah Jenkins has the details.
Emergency services were called here to St Helens Barway around 8 o'clock this morning after a small boat carrying 4 people capsized. Police say a 45-year-old man from Campbelltown and his 2 sons, aged 12 and 16, and a 15-year-old friend were on board.
One wave has then crashed through the windscreen of the vessel and swamped that. The second wave appears to have overturned the vessel. At that time, all 4 occupants have been thrown into the water.
And in a further tragic twist, police say today is the 16-year-old son's birthday. All 3 boys have been taken to Launceston General Hospital for observations. Police are preparing a coroner's report.
Well, rain, hail and severe winds caused havoc on day 2 of the Taste of Tasmania, and it was just as stormy a reception for the state government, slammed for closing the Tasmanian Museum and Art Gallery on one of the biggest days of the tourism calendar. Win's Olivia Hicks explains.
Under blue skies, day 2 of the Taste of Tasmania was in full swing, with oyster producer Get Shucked named the best overall stall in this year's awards.
Not only is the product of the highest quality, the whole stall, it tells the story. It symbolises what Tasmania is.
But as bumper crowds once again lined Princess Wharf 1, Mother Nature had other ideas, with a severe storm lashing Hobart and forcing organisers of the Taste into emergency mode and tourists scrambling for shelter.
It's rather raining at the moment. It'd be nice to go inside, especially if the museum was open.
It's a sentiment shared by the Public Sector Union and Tourism Council, who are slamming the government over the Tasmania Museum and Art Gallery having its doors closed on one of the busiest days on the tourism calendar.
But the government says TMAG recorded significant budget overruns of about $1 million every year for the past 5 years.
Arts Minister Vanessa Goodwin says the decision to close for 1 day a week was made by TMAG management, and she fully supports the move. Olivia Hicks, Win News.
Wild weather has done little to dampen the spirits of revellers at the first day of the Falls Festival in Marion Bay. More than 13,000 punters flocked to snatch the best campsite as day 1 kicked off in style. Elizabeth O'Neill was there.
Row upon row of tents, heavy traffic and a stage ready to be rocked. It can only mean one thing: the Falls Festival at Marion Bay is back.
If you can imagine, come tonight, this amphitheatre will be filled with thousands upon thousands of people listening to the likes of Salt and Pepper, Alice in Wonderland and Client Liaison. My tip is, bring your gumboots.
And don't worry if you've left it to the last minute. Tickets are still available on the door tomorrow. Elizabeth O'Neill, Win News.
And straight ahead on the Win News Hour tonight, torrential rain triggers mudslides in Sri Lanka. And a look back at 2014 with the Tasmanian Greens leader. Now to a story just in, and Tasmania Police has confirmed it's responding to a report of a light aircraft crashing into the water near Port Arthur in the state's south. Details regarding passengers or injuries are not yet available. Well, a scare for residents on a street in Hobart's eastern shore overnight, with the area cordoned off due to a lithium battery failure. Firefighters were called to Douglas Street in Bellerive just before 11 o'clock. Following reports, a 20-amp lithium battery was fuming. A 50-metre exclusion zone was set up, and residents were told to avoid breathing in the nearby air. One man was treated for fume inhalation at the scene. Now, after 3 hours, the battery was removed and the area was deemed safe. Police are yet to determine what caused the incident. It's been a challenging year for the Tasmanian Greens team, with the result of the March election hitting their parliamentary influence hard. 2014 also saw a new leader step up, but it's a role Kim Booth says he never anticipated taking on. WIN's political reporter Stephanie Anderson sat down with Mr Booth for the third and final instalment of our end-of-year political profiles.
Reflecting on the events of 2014, Greens leader Kim Booth is upbeat about his party's achievements.
The street talk's very good now for the Greens. People realise that we are there to stand up for community and stand up for all of the good things in Tasmania.
With 2015 fast approaching, Mr Booth hopes the Greens' vision to see Tasmania become Australia's solution to asylum seeker processing gathers momentum, and the New Year message to his political opponents is simple.
The Greens are here to stay.
Stephanie Anderson, WIN News.
Finance now, and after a 4-day Christmas break, the Australian share market closed almost 1.5% higher, with strong gains across all sectors. A nice result for the All Ordinaries Index, adding more than 77 points. And there was good news all round for shares, with banks and resources the major winners, BHP adding 75 cents and Rio Tinto $1.55. And the good fortune was spread around, with our dollar making gains against the major currencies. And ahead on WIN News, the travel insurance warning to Australian holiday makers and the study into using water injections to relieve serious back pain. This is the WIN News Hour. Health experts are calling for Melbourne's hospitals to stop providing fast food to sick children. But families argue meals from McDonald's give their children something to look forward to as they battle illness.
Anthony Cooper knows what it's like to spend months inside a hospital.
It's big and a scary place.
The McDonald's here at the Royal Children's follows a traffic light system, with healthier food options coloured green making up about 80% of the menu. A similar model will be in place at the new Montage Children's Hospital, which is yet to make a decision on whether or not it will house the fast food giant.
Time for the sport now with Brent Costello, and history has been made in the Launceston to Hobart yacht race, Brent.
It has been, Peter, with a new race record. Also tonight, the Hobart Hurricanes fly out to Adelaide for their match against the Strikers. As you heard earlier, the crew of Wild Oats 11 has spent the night celebrating following a record-breaking 8th line honours win in the Sydney to Hobart yacht race yesterday. Some of the ship's star sailors, including skipper Mark Richards, flew out of Tasmania this morning, but the Super Maxi itself will remain at Constitution Dock for at least the next few days. Today it was a much more relaxed Wild Oats, the yacht becoming a temporary tourist attraction on Hobart's waterfront. But there was no rest for the Super Maxi's star crew, despite a long night of celebrations. And last night, Gary Smith's Fork in the Road created history, smashing the line honours record in the Launceston to Hobart yacht race by more than 3 hours. All yachts have now completed the Launceston to Hobart. Steel and Time was declared the overall winner. A thrilling final day looms at the MCG, with Australia in the box seat to retain the Border Gavaskar Trophy. Timely half-centuries from Chris Rogers and Shaun Marsh guided the Aussies to 7 for 261, a lead of 326, a target that's only ever been chased down once before at the MCG.
After a tough time yesterday, Mitchell Johnson finally got his reward. Coley reignited tensions with his old sparring partner, but Shaun Marsh wasn't getting involved. He let his batting do the talking.
Marsh has gone for it. This is going all the way, is it?
His half-century giving the Aussies the edge ahead of a thrilling final day.
And for Monday night, that's all in sport, Peter.
Good on you, Brent. Thanks very much indeed. Now the weather details are next, and the temperatures are set to cool across the state. Weather time now, and maximum temperatures were generally up to 4 degrees above average about the northwest and central north, and about 8 degrees above average elsewhere. Now on the islands, 19 on King, hot on Flinders with 31. Burnie reached 20, a degree warmer for Devonport. 25 in Launceston. Over on the east coast, St Helens a warm 27. Swansea even warmer at 30 degrees. On the west coast, Strahan reached 23 degrees, and in Hobart it got to 29 before the storm battered the city and cleared up to a fine afternoon. Now the satellite image shows a southwesterly airstream over Tasmania with an embedded cold front to cross during the morning. boating now, and swells up to 4 metres in the west and south, 20 to 30 knots in the west and east, 25 to 35 knots in the north and south. Now some early showers for King Island tomorrow, a maximum 17 there. Morning showers on Flinders, heading for a top of 20 degrees. Showers should ease in Burnie and Devonport tomorrow, maximum 19. Shower 2 on the way for Launceston tomorrow, a top of 20 degrees. Partly cloudy for St Helens and Swansea, 21. The forecast for St Helens, 22 for Swansea. Now showers forecast for Strawn, they're heading for a maximum 17. Shower 2 and a cooler 18 for Hobart tomorrow. Now sunny in Sydney and Canberra tomorrow, possible showers in Melbourne and Adelaide, and a very hot sunny day in Perth. Now looking ahead, overcast and showery over the next 3 days in Burnie and Devonport. Launceston mostly sunny with a possibility of showers, and for Hobart cloudy and a shower or two with a temperature range of 25 to 22 to 25 degrees. Well, that's Win News for this Monday night, my first night on air. See you again tomorrow. Good night.
Good night.